Surprise, surprise. I'm live. Just checking all my settings and making sure I got everything correct. Oh, I'm tired, y'all. Been working in the garden. I hope I get some of you coming in here. Some of you late nighters. I didn't schedule it. This is surprise, just like the thumbnail says. Surprise, surprise, surprise. I think I got everything squared away. I think that's all correct. So we'll see how many of my late nighters are out there that can pop into my live tonight. I know I haven't been scheduling them, so people don't know when my lives are going to be, but I explained in my last live that I'm doing that to get rid of some of these trolls. I'm going to go ahead and start scheduling again, and we'll see what happens. And I hope the trolls don't, will leave us alone. So we'll see what happens. Is there anybody out there? I'm being silly. I'm tired. I just got out of the shower. My hair is soaking wet. But I just wanted to get on here and chat with y'all. So we'll see how many pop in. I got 4 watching so far. I don't know if I'll get anybody in chat. Well, there's Julie. Hello, Julie. What you been up to? I've been working hard in the garden, and it's been hot today. I look like a drowned duck right now. And there's Tamara Douglas. Hello. Nice to see you again, too, Tamara. Oh, it's getting hot in Texas, y'all. That heat is almost unbearable out there. It's in the high 80s now. So it's 75 right now. It's cooled off since the sun went down, but my poor plants are suffering. They were enjoying those few days of the cooler temperature with all the rain, and now the rain stopped and the heat has set in. My plants don't like it. That means I got to be on the ball and keep them watered, because if I don't, they'll die. It's wet. I just got out of the shower. I didn't take time to dry it. I just let it hang. But my hair is naturally curly anyway. If it's cut shorter, it curls up more. With it long like this, it pulls, the weight of my hair pulls the curl out. Yeah, hot, humid Indians, that's for sure. Lucky and little buddy tickled me today. They were under the shade bushes taking their naps today. They weren't out in the sun. A lot of times, even though it's a hot day, they'll be in the sunshine. Not today. They've been under the shade bushes. Or either they'll follow me around under the shady parts of the garden. Well, I sent Tamara Aimling out her Egyptian walking onions. I don't know if she's got them planted or not. But I did that one video today on how to plant them. Basically for her, because I was afraid she didn't know what to do with them. Because they look weird, you know. You get this little cluster bulb of little onion sprouts, and the bulbs are little tiny, tiny things. They don't look like anything you'd plant, but that's what you plant. There's Tamara Aimling, talk of the devil, and they shall appear. I'm just teasing. I don't mean that you're the devil. Did you get your onions planted? You email? Okay, I'll check my email. Yeah, I was thinking of you when I did that short video, and I went in more detail about it all. But my darn video, the it cut off with me. The camera cut off, and I didn't know it. And when I went there to just flip it back over the other way, I noticed that my camera was off. It was not recording. So then I had to check and see how much of the video I even had recorded, and then try to start over a little bit. Well, good. I mean, if you'll do like I said, let some of them produce the little bulbs at the top, do their walking as they call it in the spring, because they'll get pretty big now. I mean, they grow pretty fast, but in the spring they'll walk and they'll produce those little bulb clusters just like I sent you. And then if you'll take those off and replant them, then you can harvest the ones you planted the first go round. I mean, it takes a little while before you enjoy any of your onions, but they're worth it because you never have to buy more onions to plant. You always, it always produces its own plants, so to speak. Well, good. That's one reason I do my videos. I don't know everything about all of it, but I said at least what I have learned through experience, trial and error, I can share with everybody. It might help someone. And I'm so glad they got that water gone in the backyard over there. The mosquitoes were about to run me out of the yard. And there's still a few out there, but, as long as that water's not standing out there anymore, they'll disappear in a few days. I'm hoping. Well, each cluster was probably 5 or 6 different plants. I mean, they'll grow if you plant the whole thing together, but you're really supposed to separate them as little as they are and plant each one individually. You think they're tiny and they're not going to do anything, but oh my God, in a couple of days' time, if you keep the ground damp, they start growing like crazy, and before you know it, they're a foot tall. They love the sun and they like water. They don't want to be drowned in water, but they want their dirt to be a little moist. As long as I do that, I have no problem growing them in my yard or in my totes, my buckets and my pots. I got them all over the yard now. And I started out with about 12 bulbs, little bitty bulbs for like $20 years ago that I ordered them online. I think they sell for about that now. You get about 15 or 20 bulbs for about $20 or something like that, depending on what place you order them from. But I saw those bulbs when I first got them, and I said, I don't know about this. I don't think these things are going to do anything. I planted them, and oh my God, in a couple of days, they were several inches tall. And they didn't even have sprouts on mine when I first planted them. But you can see some of them were sprouted, and they're sprouting on me out here. And the little tiny bulbs in the cluster are real tiny, tiny. And they got these big, long 5-6 inch shoots stucking out on them. I mean, it's crazy. I always have to break them off so it doesn't lay them over and, lay on the ground. So I break them off to about 1 inch tall, and then I plant them and let that little shoot stick up. And there's Jessica. Hello, Jessica. How do you feel about Joe Biden? I have no comments on Joe Biden. I would not vote for him, that's for sure. I did not vote for him. Oh no. I know it's a job to water your plants. I know I've done it for years here with this water shortage going on. But we really don't get into politics on my channel. We try to leave government and Christianity and all that stuff on the table somewhere else. So what's everybody been up to since I've been on here last? Other than Tamara planting her garden. I wish I could plant in the ground. I've got too many rocks. And I did plant in the ground and it would grow good, but it was hard to keep it watered. And then once I got that Bermuda grass started out there, oh my God, you can't plant nothing in the ground. That grass will strangle it out. So I reverted to raised beds and totes and pots and everything else. I'm just hoping I can keep enough water to those raised beds that'll keep my plants alive. Because, there's no water reservoir in the bottom of them. That's the only reason I really didn't care to plant in them, but I said I'm going to give them a try. If we didn't have a water shortage and we could just water every day or every other day, I wouldn't have a problem. But I guess y'all noticed in my videos that the rock bed where the tree that I cut down was in, it's so full of Indian blanket flowers and sunflowers and moonflowers. It's unreal. You don't even know there's stumps in there anymore. They're completely covered up. Yeah, my hog went missing. I had her tied to the restaurant table and now she's lost. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, repairs between work, and I have never-ending repairs here. And I still might have to have electrical work. I don't know. Um, I don't know how long that repair is going to last that the electrician did. And he's looking for the parts that he would need to completely fix it. But he doesn't have them in stock where they are at their business. So he's got to look around elsewhere to find them because they're older parts. And I guess most places don't carry the older parts for the old panels anymore. They're all the high-powered panels that they put in now for people that use dishwashers and dryers and all this electrical stuff that I don't have. I still need a low voltage one here. I can't handle one of those high voltage, what do you call them, breaker boxes or whatever. That would send too much electricity into my house. All I've got is lights, my refrigerator, my microwave running. That's about it. And my furnace, it's operated by electricity, but the furnace is gas, and of course the AC is electricity. So, but other than that, I don't have anything here pulling electricity, really. So I don't need a high voltage breaker box. How long has your hog been missing? You had her tied to the restaurant table and now she's lost. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you find them. Yeah, I got to get out there tomorrow and fix up some kind of little bit of a shade on 2 of my tomato plants that have all those tomatoes on them. They're covered, I mean, just loaded down with tomatoes, but the sun is just wilting the plant down to where I'm afraid it's going to kill the plant. But it's in the sun. I don't have a shade cloth over it. She's a pug. That's what I thought. Girl. Are you saying that she was a troll? I don't know. The wind's been blowing out there today, so I worked on my bird feeders a little bit and worked in the garden and did those videos. I haven't posted one of them yet. And I can't work out there when that wind's blowing without coughing, gagging. And then I cough and gag after I come in the house. And there's Style 8. Hello, Style 8. Yeah, I'm hoping they do find her pug. I mean, it's bad when you lose a pet. What happened? Did the dog just run off? They are pretty, but sometimes I think the hummingbird's just like a regular old hummingbird feeder. They don't care if it's fancy or not. As long as they've got their nectar in it, they don't care. And it's easy to get to. Yeah, I was surprised when they contacted me and asked me if I would do the video. And they would send me the bird feeders for free. I didn't even have to pay shipping on them or anything. I said, sure, I could make a short video. I couldn't promise how many birds would come to the feeder because I don't usually have that many hummingbirds coming to my feeders. At the most, I think I have maybe two at a time, because they don't all come at one time. I'm hoping, in the years to come, the more I feed them each year and keep feeding them, that I'll have more and more birds that'll come here. You had to get a new feeder? Yeah, I enjoy watching the hummingbirds too. They'll get away from you if you don't watch them. Well, evidently so. That one got away, didn't it? I've never had a pug, so I don't know. Really? I've never heard that, Style 8. That hummingbirds migrate on the backs of ducks. I have no idea. But I had one big old hummingbird that stayed here all winter long. He was still here in December and January. I think it was his family he's got here. Maybe it was the difference in the weather. I don't know. But that bird was here all winter because I kept my feeder full of nectar and he kept coming to it. And I said, well, I'm going to keep it full out there. Well, not full. I only maybe usually put it half full. But I'll keep the nectar out there because if he's going to come feed on it, I'll make sure he can get nectar. You ever seen hummingbird moths? No, I haven't. What do they look like? I didn't know there was hummingbird moths. You bought two that are like mason jars, so they're easy to clean. Yeah. That's one thing I've been thinking about these two new ones. They've got a really small opening, but if you have like a bottle brush, I guess you can get down in there. That's one thing I like about the ones I had. And I've still got, because I put them back up today with the new ones. They're wide, so when you, take them apart, they're real easy to get up in there and clean them. And you got to be able to clean them because they get dirty pretty quick. You like to get some honeybees? Well, I don't know nothing about taking care of honeybees and having beehives, but I love honey. I've never been stung by a bee, but I don't bother the bees. I have bees that come in my garden, and I don't bother them because I want them to be there. But I don't know if I want a beehive back there. That, having a bee flying around and having a whole beehive is two different things. You got to get some beehives. Well, when I was working at Lowe's a few years ago at Christmas time, one of the ladies that worked in the office come out there talking to us, some of the girls out on the floor. And she said, "You'll never guess what my husband got me for Christmas." We said, "No, what? Did he get you something good?" "He got me beehives. He got me beehives for Christmas." I said, "What am I going to do with beehives?" He told me to put them out there and get some bees in them. So I don't know how all that went. I've not spoke to her since then. I don't know if she got her bees going or, what the deal is, but if she had her own beehives, then she's got honey all the time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I want to handle all the work with beehives. I've never had any, and I don't think I want to mess with that many bees. You can still be the queen bee. Oh, well. And I got two pumpkins out there. It's taken over my watermelon vines, but I've got two pumpkins started on the vine. I found another one. And I did some research on the internet about that plant that I can't identify that has all male flowers on it. And they say that sometimes the plants will produce nothing but male flowers in the beginning. But given time, just leave it alone. In time, it'll probably start producing the female flowers. So I'm going to leave it alone and see what happens. I'm dying to see what it'll produce, if anything. I want to know what it is. Makes me want to try some tomatoes again. I love good old fresh tomatoes out of the garden. You can't beat them. Those that are in the store have no taste to them. My tomatoes out of the garden have it's hard to explain, kind of like an acidy taste. Like, I don't know. Hi, Anthony. Is the ghost still leaving you alone? I'm doing fine. I'm just a little tired. I've been working out in the garden today. And I got some more stuff I need to do out there. I got two tomato plants I need to put some shade up to. A little bit of shade. He's leaving you alone for now. I kind of wanted to do my live from outside, but then I realized, well, no, if I do that, it'll be dark. I bought me a bag of marshmallows because the next time I have a fire out there in my fire pit, Guess what? I'm going to roast me some marshmallows. Probably not but one or two, but I'm going to roast them. And I don't know what happened to my dessert video today. I uploaded it, it was fine. But then I got somebody sent me a message and said that the voice track was off with the picture. It didn't go together. So I got on there and I listened to it, and sure enough, it was off. So I uploaded it again, and it seemed to be okay. So I reposted it and I put the other one on private so I don't lose the views on it. And then I went ahead and published the new one. So hopefully this one is okay, and it doesn't look weird with the voice and the sound, you know, the picture. You could make you some Reese's s'mores. Nah, I just like the roasted marshmallow. I don't care about making a s'mores or anything like that. Style 8 says, now I want marshmallows. Yeah, it was okay, but, you know, it wasn't like it was supposed to be. And I knew it was better than that. And when I know it was better than that, I couldn't leave that one up like that. I had to go ahead and upload the original and get that one on there. Happy Thursday. Well, happy Wednesday to you. Isn't this Wednesday? Or am I day behind? I don't know. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what day it is anymore, y'all. Let me get this plug out of there. I guess, well, it is Thursday, isn't it? Because they picked my garbage up yesterday. And they picked my garbage up on Wednesday. I put it out Tuesday night because I never know what time Wednesday they're coming. Sometimes it's almost at daylight. Sometimes it's noon. Sometimes it's later. So I like to get it out on Tuesday night. That way I know it's out there all ready for them to pick up. So this is Thursday, isn't it? Ada says, I got a calendar now. Looks like I might need me a calendar. I usually look at my phone, though. The only thing is I let the battery run down. I can't check anything on it till the battery charges back up on it. Oh, me. I said this evening would have been a perfect time to go fishing, but I was too tired and I had too much other things to do. Ada said she's not very good with technology. And there's Jana. Hey, Jana Jacob, how are you doing? Your trash is always picked up at 7:05 a.m. Well, for a while there, they'd get to picking it up about noon or sometime in the afternoon. So I didn't worry about it. I'd get up and get it out there on Wednesday morning. And then all of a sudden, they started coming at daylight sometimes, and I didn't have my trash out yet. So it didn't get picked up. So I said, well, that's not going to keep happening. So I made sure I had my garbage put out on Tuesday night. That way it didn't matter what time Wednesday they came, it's out there. And my neighbors over here, they picked mine up on Wednesday and they picked the new neighbors up on Thursday. And they picked theirs up about the crack of dawn. That truck woke me up this morning. It wakes me up every time it comes through it once a week. Because it comes real early in the morning and I'm still asleep. And my bed is right there toward the street. And it sounds like that truck's right in my bedroom. Can't help but wake me up. And there's Henry. Hi, Henry. How's Henry doing? MT's here, and Henry and Jana. Most of my standbys are popping in. I'm Beyond the Veil. Well, thank you for that super chat. Out of 40 pounds of potatoes we pick 250 pounds. Oh my God. What do you do with all those potatoes, Henry? Or what? And what have you done with all those potatoes? Keeping an eye out for KFC. I hope none of them come in here tonight. We may have scared them off when we said we were going to start reporting them, because they know that YouTube will find out. They'll know who they are, and they'll get rid of them if we start reporting them all. Your trash is there 7:30 a.m. on Thursday. Wakes you up too. I know the first time it happened, I thought to myself, what in the world is going on outside? Sound like a big old monstrous truck, and it was one of the great big old trash trucks. One that has the lift on it that lifts the trash can up and dumps it and then lowers it back down. I mean, I don't have that much garbage, so I've just got a little trash can. I could have 2 of them the size of mine for what I pay, but I just have one trash can that I put out there, and I don't even have it half full most of the time. I have one 13-gallon trash bag full of garbage, and that's basically it in that trash can when I put it out on Thursday. If I miss letting them, if I miss getting my trash can out, and they skip a week on me, then it'll be full because I'll have 2 bags in there. And 2 13-pound bags will pretty well fill it up. Yeah, I miss going live and chatting with all you ladies and gentlemen. Y'all keep me company. You keep my spirits up. I've been watching my tomatoes out there. Something awful. I'm not letting nothing get that tomato when it's ripe. That big old... I got one tomato out there that's that big around, and when it's ripe, I'm grabbing it. I'm not letting any bird or any insect start eating on my tomato. That's my first BLT out of the garden, if I can ever get it. Yeah, I probably planted too much this year. But it keeps me busy, gives me something to do, occupy my time and my mind. And I know when they lift this water restriction, it'll be a lot better. But my plants need the compost tea anyway, because that's where I put all my, like my fish emulsion and my Epsom salts and that type of stuff that I water my plants with, which is plant food for them. I hope my chat hasn't frozen. I think my chat, no, well, it didn't freeze, but it didn't spin around. Yeah, if you got kids eating, it ain't going to go to waste. You can and freeze a lot of that stuff for the winter. No, I just got out of the shower when I went live and my hair is still wet. And my hair is naturally curly, but the weight of it being this long, it pulls the curl out. If I cut it short, it curls up more. But I haven't done anything but to it but shampooed it. I didn't even dry it. I wouldn't mind having chickens, but you know that's another thing I'd have to take care of. Plus, I'd have to get a chicken house, a chicken run. You know, get the feed here. Most of their feed comes in 50-pound sacks. I think, and I can't lift a 50-pound feed bag, so. Yeah, I remember. And her mama said that she was still eating all of her food too. She's gonna be a big girl. And there's Country Girls Cooking with Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda. But I got a message or comment with my video that I did on the rice pudding or rice milk because I used brown rice in it that was already cooked. And they said, well, I'd never use brown rice. I want to use short white rice so it comes out real creamy. I like the way it came out, especially putting the dates in there. The dates flavored it up a lot. And with that brown rice in there, it gave it just a little bit of texture. And with the taste of the dates and that texture, it was almost like eating nuts, kind of. And I kind of liked it. I like it like that. But that's some of the best rice pudding I've ever eaten is using dates instead of the raisins and putting the dates in there while you're mixing up the liquid to where they rehydrate. So they're not hard and they flavor the rice. Oh, it's so good. Oh my God. I ate another bowl of it just before I went live. That was my dessert. I took out a small package of pulled pork barbecue out of the freezer because I got to get some of that stuff cooked. Well, it's already cooked, but I had to get it out of the freezer because, I've got too much in the freezer and I don't want the dates running out on stuff. So I got to use it up to where I can refill it with new stuff. I haven't been on a date in over 20 years. I don't even know what a date is anymore. And the last dates I went on, it was like I was the sugar mama. I was the one that paid for everything and furnished the car to go everywhere. And I didn't like that. I mean, I looked good. And I may have looked like I had money, but I didn't have any money. Janice says a fig date, prune peach does not cross my lips. Dates are good. Now, there's two types of dates. Date where you go out on a date with a person and you sit down and eat something else, not the date. And then the date that you eat, which is like what is it? A fruit almost? I guess a date is a fruit, isn't it? Like a fig? Style 816 says, I have my own sugar mama. I just try to keep her happy and well fed. A fruit date. I've never eaten a fresh prune either. I've eaten the dried ones. And I love the dried ones right out of the package. But when you put them in water and boil them, I don't like them then. I don't like them like that. I like them dried where you can chew them and bite into them. And they're just good. I love them. Henry said, I just noticed this year I got a muscle growing out here. What? Yeah, I love dried prunes. I can eat them, just snack on them right out of the bag. Life with Pippentine said, isn't Dr. Pepper actually prune soda? I have no idea. I don't know what goes into Dr. Pepper. Yeah, fresh prune is a plum, actually, and I have eaten plums. They're not my favorite, but I do eat plums sometimes. That reminds me, I got some strawberries in my refrigerator right now, and I got a small package of blueberries. And I forget they're in there, and I haven't been eating them. I need to start eating them. Yeah, fresh prunes are a plum. MT said mucidimes. I don't know what that is. It's like a wall grape that's called a mustadime. Mustadime. I don't know what that is. And there's Adrian. Hi, Adrian. Thank you for that compliment. Muscadine. I don't know what that is. Y'all lost me. It's a grape, basically. Well, you know, raisins are dried grapes, and plums dried or prunes. I hardly ever buy plums because it's hardly ever I come across some that when I bite into them, I really like them. But I would like them if I could get the good ones that taste good. Wild grapes. Oh, muscadine is a wild grape. Really? Wild grapes would make blisters on your lips? Type of grape. Huh. I learn everything. I learn something every day, y'all. I Googled it. Dr. Pepper being prune flavored soda was a rumor. Yeah, I bought a carton of them. They had them on sales because they were pretty low priced. And I didn't think about it. I should have got more than just one and made me some strawberry jam out of them. But I didn't. I've got too much going on. That's all. I got too much stuff going on in the garden and the house and mowing the yard and everything else. I don't have enough time to. I can't spread myself around far enough to get everything done. They make muscadine wine. Oh. And there's Broken. Hey, Broken. With all those hearts. Yeah, in the back of my mind, I kind of had the idea of strawberry or blueberry jam, but I only bought one small carton of each one, so I said I'll just eat them. I don't really have time right now to do all that, so. But I guess I could have froze them. I got to do something with this old freezer up here. It looks like Alaska. It's iceberg city up there. I'm gonna have to take a chisel and get the icebergs out of the freezer because it's not frost free. This old one, the refrigerator freezer. Henry said, I select my wife. She's always on the go. Yeah, I love blueberry muffins too. I know, and I've got one beautiful strawberry in my garden, but it's not ripe. It's just turning pink. But it's a pretty good sized little strawberry. Tickled me to death when I saw it. I just hope my strawberry plants will survive through the winter months. I think I'm going to cover them with the greenhouse cover that you can put on them, and then keep the straw on them, and hopefully they'll make it through the winter. Style 816 says, I think I got to prune my strawberry plants. I think they're too overgrown. The strawberries keep spoiling. Yeah, well, you got to keep them thinned out. You can't let them take over. They'll strangle one another out. Mine were just planted this year. They were planted from the bare root. So they had very little bit of leaf at the top of them. So it's tickled me to death that they're growing the way they have. And they did at least start putting out a couple of little blue strawberries. Because I really wasn't expecting strawberries this year. I figured I'd have to wait till next year to get some. Yeah, when they start putting out a lot of runners is when you need to cut them off and start new plants somewhere else with them, so they don't choke themselves out. They got plenty of room to grow. Well, mine's getting a lot of airflow, that's for sure. Except the ones that I've got in the raised bed with the celery. Oh my God, my celery's taken off out there. It's taken over the bed. I got to start harvesting it and cutting it back, or it's going to shade out my strawberries and they'll probably die. That's what I did with my blackberry thornless bush. You thinned it back, or you cut it back? Well, mine's really done some growing this year. I just hope I have some berries on there. Mine's a raspberry, a thornless raspberry bush, but I've never had raspberries on it. I hope this year with those CDs hanging up there in that tin pan, it keeps the birds away from it, so maybe they don't eat the plant before it can produce the berries. Yet a wide pick. There's a nice broccoli page out of her plant. We planted Morning Glory last year and they took over everything we had. We had to dig it all up. I know, I've got that wild Morning Glory out here. It's all back in the back lots, and in my lot over here, it goes all up in the trees. It got in my garden last year, and it got all over my moonflowers. I don't know how to get rid of it. You pull it out, and half the time you break it off, and it just multiplies. But I've got it growing up, trying to come up into the wood chips from back here on the back side. Yeah, that's the reason I put straw around my strawberries. And I've got a little bit more straw to put on them at the end of the summer. And there's Chill. Hey, Chill. What's Chill up to? You just chilling? I grew up in Macon, Georgia. Muscadine Studios was the recording studio for the Allen Brothers. Wow. That's all. Weather, whatever makes its mind up. Why our plants can't do what they need to do. I know. My garden was loving the cooler days and all the rain, and now it stopped raining and it started getting really hot, like in the 90s. My plants don't like it, especially the ones that are under the out from under the shade cloth. So I got to put up a little bit more shade cloth at the back to shade a couple of tomato plants I've got back there. I can't move that tote, not with everything planted in it and the dirt in it wet. It's too heavy to try to move it. I probably never should have planted the tomato plant there, but oh well, I did. So I'll just try to cover it up with something. I'll find a piece of shade cloth. You need rain in Iowa? Well, we could use some more rain here. It actually started sprinkling just before dark, about an hour before I went live. I heard something falling out there, and I thought to myself, what in the world is that? I opened my back door to the kitchen here, poked my head out, and it was great big old raindrops falling. But it stopped just as quick as it started, so the ground didn't even get wet. It just kind of like went through and kept going. Peanut butter pickle and sriracha sandwich. No, I've never tried that. No rain in nearly 3 weeks. Well, we got a slight chance. We had a slight chance of rain today. We got a slight chance this weekend, but with the Texas, the slight chances, that usually means you're not getting any. It's kind of like telling you to keep your fingers crossed for nothing because you ain't going to get none. It seriously works. You need to try one on a video. Deal all the way. I can't imagine peanut butter, pickles, and sriracha sauce. Oh. No, I've never heard of a peanut butter tree. Because peanuts don't grow on trees, they grow on bushes. Got my account running tonight. Too hot, but it seems the ice sheets have increased in the last few years. Maybe the sriracha sauce is heating things up. Not account, AC. Okay. I wasn't sure what you meant by that. You can drink pickle juice. You rub the leaves on the trees and they smell just like peanut butter. Huh, that's interesting. A peanut butter tree. Since I was little. I like putting pickle juice in a lot of recipes, like potato salad, coleslaw, stuff like that. I don't think I've ever really sat there and drank just the juice. Pickle juice facial reaction to the uninitiated must be funny. Yeah. Like these videos you see where these parents are giving their little babies pieces of lemon. And of course, the first thing that baby's going to do is put that lemon in their mouth and they're going to start sucking on it. And then their reaction is just priceless. I've watched so many of those videos. I watched one where the baby started sucking on it and made an awful face and and then put it right back in their mouth. They wouldn't give it up. They liked it, but their reaction was terrible. I mean, something else. They think about it before reaction. Yeah. That's what I've heard, that pickle juice is good for leg cramps. When I was working at Lakestone Terrace, some of the ladies would come in there when they would, get food put on their plate. They'd always ask for pickles, some of our sliced pickles, because they didn't, they really wanted the juice from the pickle. They didn't so much want the pickle because it was good for cramps. Well, the only time I have cramps is when I've got a pinched nerve, and I don't know that pickle juice would help it. I just say it, but we did that too harder in kids. Is it pickle juice or just fermented things that like kimchi? I don't know. I've often thought about trying kimchi, but I'm afraid I'm going to kill myself. I'll put all this stuff in jars and ferment it and eat it, and I probably shouldn't be eating it. I don't know if I don't know if I get it fixed correctly or not. Runners use it. Oh, wow. Kimchi. The salt and the potassium. I know it makes the chat funny, Henry. When a lot of you use the talk to text, and the talk to text changes your words to what it wants. Yeah, I've never tried fixing kimchi, fermented stuff. The only thing I've fixed like that I've ever tried and eaten was sauerkraut. I don't know. I forgot what night it was. I had in my mind it was Wednesday night, and I said, why not go live on Wednesday night? And we didn't even think about trivia when I got on here. We were just talking, so. It's the look of it that turns you off. Well, it's supposed to be good for your stomach. Be good for your digestion and everything else to eat kimchi. I mean, I guess it's probably like eating pickled vegetables. T. Moss says pickle juice is good for bee stings. Taste is good, different, good for the gut. Yeah, it's supposed to be good for your gut, your digestion, and all that good stuff. That's why the people tell you to eat sauerkraut, because that is like a kimchi. You know, it's a fermented cabbage. I can chill. It makes you fart. Well, that broccoli does it to me. I eat a plate of broccoli. I love it, but oh my God. It does give you gas, that's for sure. Worse than beans do. Yep. Tobacco is something, tobacco leaves, or even the regular tobacco that they sell at the store that people put in their mouths or make cigarettes out of or put in their pipe, is supposed to be good to make what do you call them, poultices out of, to put on injuries, you know, bad cuts and things like that. It draws the poison or the infection out or something. I don't know. Potent. I couldn't remember what they called it. A POTUS or potent POTUS. And that's why the wife keeps a kind of the back of mine, and born in the summertime for that reason. Yeah. I got it lost a day this week. I was thinking all day or tonight that this was Wednesday. A poultice, there you go. I knew it was something that kind of like that. Poultice, yeah. They made poultices out of a lot of different herbs and a lot of different plants back in the day, because, you know, that's where all their medicine came from. And I'm told this wild lettuce I've got growing in my yard years ago, they took it, stripped the leaves off, put them in a pot of water, and just boiled those leaves to death. I mean, just boiled them until they were nothing left of the leaves, basically. And then they would strain it, put the liquid back in the pot, and keep boiling it until it made almost like a syrup. And when it got to that consistency, that's how they took it and saved it in a jar. And they'd take like a tablespoon of it at a time for pain. And wild lettuce grows everywhere. I mean, I've got it all over my yard. I've got it all over my rock garden out there, but I've never tried making that pain medicine that they talk about with it. And it's supposed to be perfectly legal. There's nothing illegal about wild lettuce. Yeah, that's why I like YouTube. I get on here, it keeps me busy. My garden keeps me busy. The days go by so fast. And it keeps me in a good frame of mind. I don't just sit there and think about my worries all the time. I had petunias at one time. And I think my wandering Jew is rooted because it looks like it's trying to grow. I've ended up with 2 pots of that wandering Jew, because I know when it starts growing and like puts out runners, you can break it off and root more. The mamo roots. Yeah, anything fermented is just controlled spoilage. And I'd probably not get mine controlled spoilage correct. And I'd end up poisoning myself. You can grow potatoes real easy too. Yeah, I've got bags of potatoes growing in them outside right now. I haven't opened the flaps to see if I can see potatoes underneath, but my potatoes are still growing. I've got the bags almost, I guess, about that close to the top, filled with dirt. Yeah, I don't know if they use the lettuce, the wild lettuce, to make a poultice or not. They may have. But they say it's a good pain medicine. I don't know. I'll have to really investigate that more before I'd ever try it. You're afraid that your dog would poo on them if you grew them. Abdul Hakim. Abdul Hakim. Welcome. I can't pronounce your name, but I'm trying. I'm doing fine. How are you? I'm living in Texas right now. Where are you at? Abdul Hakim. Kim. Abdulakim. Say it real fast. Nobody know whether you said it correctly or not. You're from Egypt. Well, welcome from Egypt, Abdulakapin. Abdul Hakim. Alice. I know I'm not making fun of you, but I'm just trying to pronounce your name, which is impossible for me. I'm glad you're laughing at me. Some of the American language is probably hard for you to say too. You can come to me. Boy, Egypt, that's a long ways away. How's the weather in Egypt right now? Do you have fermented foods in Egypt? And hello, Fred Romero. Or I come to you. That's a far piece to come. 35? Oh no, that's cold. That's too cold for me. It's 85, 95 here. It's hot. Hot weather. Is that 35 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit? After tomorrow, it's going to be 40. That's still cold. That's cold weather. I'm like a bear. When it gets that kind of cold weather, I want to hibernate. I don't want to go out and do nothing. Plus 40. Where is here? I don't know what that question is, Fred. 40 is like 2 degrees. No. That is way too cold. I don't think that's too cold. That's like living around icebergs. That's like being in Alaska. If it's Celsius, that's pretty cold. But I thought like 40 degrees Celsius was like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus 50 is very hot. Plus, 50 degrees plus, that must be Celsius, I guess. So that would be very hot here. 35 Celsius is 95, right, Chill? So if it's 50 plus, yeah, that would be pushing 100 degrees or more. Over 100. Tuesday it was 81. Wednesday it was 82. It was 76 when I asked you where is here. Where you living? Where you're living. I'm in Santa Barbara, California. I'm in Granbury, Texas. And we had some cool days with blessed rain, and it felt so good. And now the Texas heat is kicked in and no rain. I'm in hot country. I'm just the opposite from Alaska. That's 86 degrees in Egypt. Oh, okay. Well, that's about the same as here then. Yeah, we've got good weather now. Sun's been out, but it's been hot. Celsius to Fahrenheit. I ain't looking it up for a million times. I know I have trouble with Celsius. I only know Fahrenheit. But I do know like 32 degrees Celsius is like 40 Fahrenheit or something. I don't know. Or 50. Did who mention they were starting a garden? Mine's already in full swing. Half of it is. The other half is still getting there. I picked me some little cucumbers today. The first cucumbers I've picked out of my garden. And I got lots of little cucumbers on there. They're not big enough to pick yet. But I picked 3 of them about that long. The little, what do they call them? The little pickling cucumbers. They're just right to chop up and put in a salad. No, 32 is 0. Huh. No, I don't know. Is we picked 20 up so far. Yeah, little sweet pickles, we call them. I picked a bunch of zucchini today. I put it in the video that I'll post tomorrow. Y'all see that zucchini I picked. And I did pick another yellow squash, but I didn't find it till after I ended the video. But I've got another yellow squash. I picked a big bundle of celery. I was going to pull it out, and then I said, no, it's easier and it'd be better just to cut it at the bottom at the root. So I took a knife and I cut the celery stalk at the bottom of the root and pulled the whole thing up, the whole bunch. But you see it in the video that'll be posted tomorrow. And I've got a zucchini as long as my arm from my elbow to my hand. That's like some I used to grow in the ground here years and years ago, before the Bermuda grass. Well, did you see my fried yellow squash video that I did the other day? That was the first 2 yellow squash that I picked out of my garden. I sliced them and I battered them up and I fried them. Oh, they were so good. You love zucchini? I love the yellow squash better, but I do like the zucchini too. Yep, that's a big one. But I used to grow some really big zucchini here. And you would think they'd be tough, but they weren't. Those big ones that I grew here years ago were just as tender as the little tiny ones. Of course you saw it. Well, I don't think I posted that yet, did I? I might have showed something in well, no, I don't think I showed it in my Egyptian walking onion, but I'll post it tomorrow. I don't think I posted that garden. I did show the garden update a few days ago, but that zucchini's grown, I'm telling you, several inches since then. It got a lot bigger. And I said, I better pick it this time because it's getting too big. It's getting too crowded up in the tote. And it's going to start growing wonky if I don't. No, I didn't, chill. I didn't know we had carbon tax on growth. Climate growth rate. Invite you to America? Well, come on to America. You may not like it when you get here, but you're welcome to come. Welcome to come to America. Everybody else is. Yeah, I like to saute my squash, and I do the zucchini. I can mix it up sometimes. I'll put chopped up zucchini and chopped up squash and chopped onion in a pan and saute it and brown it. I love it that way. But I love it when you just slice it like in medallions. The just slice them down the zucchini or the squash. I make them about half an inch thick, quarter to or third inch thick, something like that. And I dip them in egg and then in cornmeal and flour that I've seasoned, and then I put them in the frying pan and fry them. And they're good. I like to dip them in ranch dressing or any type of dipping sauce that you like is good. You saw it. Well, I picked 3 of them today, Tamara. And I've got one on the Big Daddy Deal cucumber plant on the other side of the yard. It's that long, and it's as skinny as my finger. But it's the kind of cucumber it is. It'll get fatter as it grows, but it's about the size of my finger, as long as it is. I'll give you $1,500 to come to America. Well, it might cost you $1,500 to get here. Yeah, I like to chop up zucchini and yellow squash raw and put it in a salad just like you do your cucumbers. And the year that I had so many squash and cucumbers and zucchini, I ended up pickling all of them. I just mixed them up in jars, and I sliced up yellow squash, zucchini, and cucumbers, and I pickled them. I made sweet pickles out of them, and they were good. Yeah, some things that you can in jars, you can keep a year, some even longer than a year, 2 or 3 years. But I've got so much celery out there, I don't know what I'm going to do with it all. One of my subscribers sent me a comment and she said, well, I usually freeze mine if I have too much and I can't eat it all. She said, I chop it up just like I do if I was going to put it in soup or some other recipe. And then I put it in baggies and throw it in the freezer. That way, when she wants to put celery in soup or anything, she's already got it diced up. All she's got to do is pull the bag out of the freezer and put it in her pot. MT, you've canned celery before? I've never seen canned celery. I never even thought about canning celery. I wouldn't even know how to go about doing it. About 3 years ago, your eggplant bushes were loaded and nonstop. Well, I don't know how mine will be there this year. They're not big enough to produce anything yet, but they're getting there. Huh. How did you fix it to can it? Make some baba ganache. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? And it's good pickled. I've never thought about pickling celery. That's an idea. I might try some pickled celery. Roger Chambers canned he said he canned a terrible employee a while back. Yep, there's different ways of canning something. Yeah, you can can just about anything, even meat. But to can meat, you've got to have one of those pressure canners, and I don't have one of those. That's one of those great big canners with the pressure gauge on top. I don't have one of those, and I think I'd have to have a fire out in the yard to can with one of those. Canned or pickled celery both sounds good. What kind of work do you do, Abdul Kim? Abdulhakim? What kind of work do you do? No, I've never canned meat before. Because like I said, I don't have one of those pressure canners. My mom never canned meat. It gets hot enough and all that in here just trying to can what little bit of things I can each year. And I don't know, it doesn't look like I'm going to have hot peppers this year to can. And and something's been eating my pepper plants, my little baby pepper plants that come up from seed. So I'm having to start to spray them to keep bugs off of them, or I'm not going to have any bell pepper plants either. But if that unidentifiable plant ever starts producing whatever it produces, I'm going to have whatever it produces running out my ears. You used to be able to check stuff like that out from the local agricultural department. Huh. Yeah, I've seen people that can with those pressure canners before. If it's a hot day, they won't get it going in the house. They take it outside and put it on a gas burner. That way it heats up outdoors, not in your house. You're a doctor. Oh, wow. What kind of doctor? Are you a pediatrician, family doctor, woman's doctor? She does use pressure cooker. Yeah, I've got pressure cookers, but I can't can in them. It's not made to can stuff in, so. And they're not big enough for the jars to go in, so. My pressure cookers are little small ones. Well, I got one real small one and one a little bigger, but they're not big enough to do any canning in. You can. I will help you for all. You all for all. What kind of doctor are you, Abdulakim? Yeah, I use my pressure canner a lot. I don't use it as so much now since I don't cook for a family. I just cook for myself, but I still use it. I use it in stews. I use it for dried beans a lot, especially if I'm making chili beans or something like that. I'll use my pressure cooker. It cuts the time down on cooking those beans. Dr. Strangelove. Yeah, you got the great big ones. Tamara, wow, you love to pressure can almost anything. So you must do a lot of pressure canning then. So you've used a pressure canner. Gastronology. Oh wow, you made 12 dozen tamales last Saturday and canned them using beef broth. That sounds good. I don't know if I could do all that. That was a lot. 12 dozen, that's a lot of tamales. Yeah, Jan is asking you if you do adults or children's gastro. Took you 2 days, I bet. That's a lot. Yeah, start a catering business. 12 dozen tamales. I've never thought about canning tamales. I never even usually make them here at the house. You use your electric canner now. I've never seen an electric canner. Sandy Cheeks. She's got an electric canner. I didn't know they made such a thing. But, they got the electric Instapots. That's like a pressure cooker. So I guess now they've got electric canners. I have to check that out. I could put that outside on my patio and plug it in. Let the heat stay outside. I guess Wilson and Gladys is sleeping tonight. Too late for them to come in my lives. But of course, they didn't know about it anyway, so they might be in bed. I think my two are Presto canners. Not canners, they're pressure cookers. I'm sorry. Or Mira. I'm not sure which one they are. Mira. My pressure cookers are Mira, I think. And my canner is just a big decorative pot that's big enough to hold enough water and put my jars in to put a lid on top. I treat the stomach, colon, and abdominal, even with an endoscopy. Yeah, it's a decorative pot, but it's a great canning pot. My daughter-in-law gave it to me many years ago. Some of her relatives gave her two of them like that, and she said, I don't have any use for two, so she gave me one. And I've still got it. I probably never will get rid of it. T Moss says I could not live without my pressure cooker. It saves a lot of time, that's for sure. Oh wow, the Nesco electric canner. I'll have to do that. I'll write it down. Find where pen is. It was on my table here a minute ago. Don't know what I did with it. Don't know what I did with it. My laptop just went off for some reason. But I can still see over here. I think the battery was gone down. It's not coming back on, y'all. This laptop is about 8 years old, so I can't expect it to do any better. I need a new one. But like everything else, it all costs money, and everything's been costing me money here lately. Take the electricity off of it and see if I can take the battery out of it. It's so old the battery doesn't stay charged up, so I have to keep it plugged in. And I've went through so many batteries, it's ridiculous. But it was getting hot too. Or maybe it might be my plug-in over here. This thing is unplugged. Oh well, I'll check it out later, I guess. I don't know what this plugs into even. Oh, here it is. That came loose. That's what it was. When the wires are not plugged in, it makes a big difference, don't it? Now it's coming back on. That scared me. Yeah, I guess my ship is still out there in the ocean somewhere. It'll come into dock sooner or later, I guess. I knew it couldn't be anything that bad. It's been working fine up till now. But the connections, I don't know what they call it, is down here on the floor. And I probably moved it back and forth so many times that it just unplugged. And I didn't realize it because the plug-in is plug in up here. But the wire come loose where it's plugged in together down here on the floor. That's all it was. It's back on. Well, I don't know much about computers. I mean, I did major in computer science when I went to college. So I said I should be able to keep my own computer going if nothing else. There's my chat box back up. Oh, are we making a love connection between Tamara and Abdullah Kim? He's telling Tamara to write to him. How is she going to write to you if she doesn't have your address? Linda, have got WhatsApp. I've got WhatsApp. Janice says, "What V?" Yeah, there's a WhatsApp. It's like a messenger, or it's just a chatting app that you can chat privately with people. WhatsApp, WHATSAPP. And they got another one, it's Telegram. We all hardly know him. He hardly knows us. I guess he wants to be friends. Wanting to know where Tamara's from. We might be making a love connection here tonight. Go figure. He's single, Tamara. How old are you, Abdul? We got a love match going on, Henry. I don't know. We got two Tamras here, Tamra Aimling and Tamra Douglas. I don't know which Tamra he means. Maybe he thinks both of you are the same one. I don't know. Tamra Douglas says, no thanks, I'm good. It's Tamra Aimling, he says. I never dreamed we'd be making love matches in my live chats. But how about that? Messenger. Yeah, there's Messenger too. There's Messenger on Facebook, and then there's a private Messenger app that you can get. Abdul didn't answer how old he was. I'm curious to know. That's funny. She says, I'm flattered, but as a nurse, I have an occasional problem with doctors. You work with doctors, you don't want to be married to one or date one? Best live streamer 2025. I'm 30. Oh, wow, you're young. And single, y'all. Young and single and a doctor. Oh, my goodness. What an eligible bachelor. And evidently speaks very well English. Tamara has no comment for your age. Yeah, it looks like our doctor from Egypt is looking for love in our chat. Well, it'd be nice if he did match up with somebody. He said yes. I am 30 also and single. I could pick your vegetables for you. Way to go, Lil. My comment, I agree with Tammy D. Oh my goodness, y'all. Janice says I have to ask why. I've been humming about 30 minutes now. I have no idea where Dennis is. He told Gladys that he was not coming back in my live. He called a welfare check on me. Bless his heart. That first time I didn't go live, and it wasn't planned. I had a cop come knocking on my door. And I opened the door, and there's this young, good-looking cop standing there. It's like, okay, can I help you? He looks at me and almost grins, and he says, oh, you haven't done anything wrong. I'm just here for a welfare check. Somebody called a welfare check in on you. And I said, who? He said, do you know a Dennis? I said, yeah, he's one of my subscribers. He lives in Florida. He said, well, he was worried about you. You didn't go live tonight, and he was worried about you. We have time now. 6 morning, I will sleep. Keep it ready, Tamara. Yeah, but I told him I wasn't mad with him or anything. He was certainly welcome back in my live. But he's afraid people are upset with him and he won't come back in. Or maybe he's afraid he'll do something else that he'll regret, or he's not going to want to end up owning up that he did or something. I don't know. You want to marry for American? You want to marry an American? Well, I think I'm a little bit too old for you, Abdul. I'm much older than you. I was worried that night too about you. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it because I didn't schedule the live. So I figured, well, I didn't schedule it. Nobody's going to think anything's wrong if I don't have a live. It wasn't scheduled, but I guess I was wrong. But bless his heart, he called in a welfare check. I said it was kind of nice to know somebody cared, you know? Age is not just a number. Well, that's what I say sometimes, but I don't know if it works or not when you are older. Yeah, I told everybody after that in one of my lives, if I don't schedule a live, don't think anything of it if I don't have a live that night. Yeah, there's just something that's come up that I can't schedule it, so I can't be there, so I don't schedule it. But it was really nice to know he cared enough to call somebody like that. But I think he was a little upset that he gave in and he called and did that. I don't know. Yeah, I know we're family. Everybody cares about everybody else. And the first time he didn't come into my live, people said, well, you need to call in a welfare check on him. I said, no, he's okay because he's been posting videos off and on all day. And I did get an email from him. So I knew he was okay. He was just not going to come in the live. Yeah, Dennis was coming from a place of concern. But he's more than welcome to come back in my live anytime. I mean, I'm definitely not mad at him. And I've been watching some of his little shorts that he's been putting out, and some of the other stuff is, they're pretty funny. Okay, help me marry, please, and how? I have no idea, Abdul. I don't know anybody that's your age that wants to get married. Well, like I said, I've sent him emails. He's returned my emails. So we've communicated through the email. And, I told him, I said, nobody's mad at you. I said, it was nice to know that you cared. Someone cared. Okay, MT, you have a good night too. Yeah, we've been on here almost 2 hours. Yeah, I think he's been busy doing his shorts and his little videos and just trying to make money on YouTube just like everybody else. I don't have his phone number. I just got his email address so I can communicate with him through emails, and that's pretty much it. Other than leaving comments on his videos. I know. That's the reason I say I like to go live, because I chit chat with everybody and the time goes by pretty fast. Oh, Tamra, talking about missing Dennis is making me tear up. Okay, Debbie, you have a great night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. We'll see you next time. I might start scheduling lives from, after this. I don't know. I'm thinking about it and see what happens. Because I didn't have any trolls coming in the last one live that I did. I haven't had a troll in here tonight. So we'll see. Well, we've been on 2 hours, Patty. But we're still chit-chatting. We're kind of winding down, though. Patty, I don't know how old you are, but are you in the market to get married? We've got a Abdul from Egypt that's looking for some American girl to marry to come to America. He's a doctor. You just saw that I was live. I don't know, but maybe me telling everybody that to just start blocking them or reporting them is what I said. If you can, just report them. And that may have stopped them because they don't want to be reported to YouTube. If they are, YouTube will shut their channels down and they won't be able to come back on YouTube anymore. Oh, Patty's happily married. Well, I guess Patty's not eligible. Tamara's telling Abdul good night, and she said, thanks for making me smile. You think honestly that the unannounced live might be good? Yeah, I don't know if I'll get as many views, going live at the spur of the moment like this, because people can't plan to see it. But at least it might get rid of the trolls coming in. Abdul says, okay, Linda, I'll write to you on Facebook. Oh my goodness. I thought it was really good with using the brown rice. It puts kind of like a little crunch in the rice pudding, And with the dates that I put in there, it was more like biting on a nut of some kind rather than a grain of rice. It was really good, I thought. Yeah, those dates were so much better than raisins. And to put them in there when you're cooking the liquid, the pudding mix, to put your dates in then so they kind of hydrate a little bit and they're not so dried and hard, made it good too. My rice pudding made you hungry for tapioca. Well, it's always good to experiment with new things. Just because a recipe is one way and it has certain ingredients, don't mean you've got to keep making it that exact way forever. You can always substitute different ingredients. That's one reason one of my friends told me, when are you going to make a cookbook? When are you going to do a cookbook? We want a cookbook. I said, oh my God, I can't do a cookbook. I don't know anything about putting a cookbook together and getting it published. It probably costs more than I'd ever make off of it. Exactly. I don't want trolls coming into my lives. That's the reason I just quit going live so much here lately. Plus, giving them the warning, if they keep doing it, they're going to be reported. From now on, if any trolls come into my lives, any of my moderators have my permission to go ahead and report them if you can. That way, YouTube will get on them and they'll figure out who KFC and Chicken Express or whatever the names they were going by are, and they'll shut them down. And they won't be able to come back in with different names because they'll have to use their own accounts and their own name to set up their account with YouTube. Janice said she'd buy it. I know, I've had a lot of people say that, you should do a cookbook, because I like to change my recipes. I come up with something different. No, I've never even heard of that cookbook, Lil, called Mama Llama. I've never heard of that. I got another recipe I might do tomorrow, but then it'll probably not be published for another day or so. It's a children's book. Oh, I've never heard of that one. Best book ever. It's not a cookbook. Yeah, they've had their treats, their midnight snack or their late night snack already. So they usually curl up somewhere and go to sleep after that. And I don't hear much about them after that till in the morning. I've got them spoiled. They get their meals, and then late at night, after they've had their dinner, little buddy will scratch at the door and he wants his treats. So I give him and Lucky a handful of treats each. They're happy as they can be. They chow down and then they go curl up somewhere and go to sleep. Yeah, I saw you did. I'll check it out later, Abdul. I've got two spoiled fur babies, I'll tell you. But I have myself to blame. I'm the one that spoiled them. We have a reach out and read program, and that's one of our books. Oh, wow. Even for adults. You got storms coming through Michigan right now? Your fur babies are not scared and not sleeping yet. Yeah. They don't like to be outside if it's storming. I'll bring them in the house because they don't like the wind and the blowing rain and the thunder and the lightning. I think it scares Lucky. And little Buddy don't want to be out there either, so I'll bring them in. And I'll let them stay in the house overnight. And then they're ready to go out the next day. They don't want to stay inside. If it's nice weather the next morning, they won't back out. You do pediatrics in South Carolina. They put a comma next to Llama Mama. Yeah, I've never heard of that book. I'll have to check it out. Well, we had a slight chance of rain today, and I guess that's what that little sprinkle of sprinkle that just kind of blew through was. We didn't get any rain. Nothing got wet. And we've got just a slight chance this weekend, but I doubt we get anything. Lil says, are you in Utah? I don't know who you're talking about, talking to. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you, Patty. I'm not going to give away secrets. But I think I will cook it tomorrow. No, I'm in Granbury, Texas. I'm originally from North Carolina, but I've been living in Granbury, Texas for, well, since 1978. A book is the best way to expand your vocabulary. I thought of something funny when I read that. I said it might be dangerous for me to expand my vocabulary any further than it has been. That's why all the Californians are moving there. Some areas are getting hit hard, and we get mostly rain, lightning, thunder. Not serious where I'm located. Well, good. Maybe it'll just be noise and a lot of rain and no damage. Well, we've been on live for a little over 2 hours, so I guess I'm going to call it a night. I'm a little tired. I'm about ready to go crawl in the bed. And most of you probably are too. So I appreciate y'all coming into my live tonight. You just don't know how much it means to me that you spend time with me like this. I just enjoy it so much. I love it. I love each and every one of you. So y'all sleep tight tonight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And I'll see you next time. Love y'all. Bye now.